What's going on, guys? Gomes here back again on another MLB The Show 19 Diamond Dynasty video. Today I have a quite interesting find that I did see throughout the Twitter sphere, and we actually have a brand new tool that we can use for Diamond Dynasty. So you guys know, of course, with the pitchers in the game currently, you're actually kind of limited to what you can actually see. If we were to look at Justin Verlander right here, of course we can see his per nines, you know, we can see all of that. We can see his pitches that he throws. We can see his pitch velocities, but what we cannot see is his control and his break on each and every one of his pitches, which is honestly pretty detrimental because you don't know how accurate he's going to be with that circle changeup, for example, or that curveball. Do you actually know how much break is on it? Because the way the break and velocity and control stats that you guys can see down there work is that is the highest it goes. So break is 99, but what pitch is it? Is this the slider? Is it the curveball? Is it both? We don't really know, and we don't know how accurate, how much control he has on each pitch. So that is something that is kind of missing from the game, and it goes for everything. Yeah, we can see the velocities, which is cool, but we can't actually get a full understanding of who exactly we are pitching with. However, DaddyLeagues.com just did recently release something that is going to solve that problem. Now, DaddyLeagues.com, of course, is a website that has to do with a lot of stuff. It does with Madden, Diamond Dynasty, and other games as well. Specifically, we're of course looking for Diamond Dynasty right here. Daddy Leagues used to be a lot more popular back in like MLB The Show 16, MLB The Show 17, because they had a lot more tools. It was a lot more updated. This year, I kind of thought it was dead. I didn't really think that they were updating it still, but they finally did introduce a system where we can actually see the pitcher's control and break on each and every one of his pitches. Now, believe me, I do not know how they do it, but they do it somehow. So without further ado, let's get right into it. And so here we are on DaddyLeagues.com. As you guys can see, this is the regular website. Of course, we are going to be going over to Diamond Dynasty right here. And I believe if we go over to Players, the Show 19, we're going to see all the players from this year. And yeah, it looks like they have all of them. So I guess they have been updating it. And like I said, you can see everything that you would really want to from a pitcher. So let's look at Justin Verlander, for example. You guys can see this is all of his per nines. It looks like they don't have all of his quirks out there, but as you guys can see, we can see his break and control of each and every one of his pitches, which really helps. You know, this is very, very nice to be able to see what exactly he throws, because otherwise we don't really know. Like, trust me, I have so many times where I have control issues, and maybe this is why. You know, if I knew what his stats are better, I probably would do I would do well with that pitcher opposed to how I'm doing, damn it. But you guys can see Justin Verlander has 90 break on his fastball, 99 control, so he is going to dot up that pitch a lot of the time. 88 control on his 12-6, 99 break, 93 control on his slider, 83 control on his changeup, on his circle changeup rather, and then 78 control and 70 break on his cutter. So as you guys can see, cutter is clearly his worst pitch, and that might go to show because that is his last pitch that has been listed. But I didn't really know how bad it really was, and that goes to show, and it's not awful obviously, but you know, 70 breaks, 78 control is definitely not that good. So if you don't dot up your meter, if you don't hit your pulse, if you don't hit your analog, there's a good chance with only 70 break and 78 control, that is how this pitch gets hung down the middle on Hall of Fame and up difficulties, higher difficulties, and that's really where you run into trouble. So this is really interesting. I'm gonna go through quite a few players, and like I said, you guys can check this out for yourselves, DaddyLeagues.com. I will leave the link down to this down below in the description. So let's do a little bit more exploring to see other players. Let's try out some guys that I've actually used, because I have used Verlander but only like one game. Now let's look at Madison Bumgarner, for example. Of course, I think a lot of you guys have probably tried out Madison Bumgarner, his 98 signature yourself. And as you guys can see, of course, his slider only has 77 control, which is definitely not the greatest. You know, if you do not hit your spots, that definitely will go to show. One pitch I noticed a lot, his cutter. I'm really so-so with this cutter. It seems like a lot of times I do not hit my spots with it. So 97 control, maybe like I just suck at the game. Obviously, you guys know that, but I don't know. I really seem to not do so well with that cutter sometimes. Let's go and look at some more pitchers, however. One guy I'm interested in is Nolan Ryan, because he's a guy who has a lot of control issues to see exactly what his control is on each and every one of his pitches. So 94 control on the fastball, That's obviously really good. 99 break. His fastball is, I would agree, his best pitch. Throws that, over 100 a lot of times. 89 control on his 12-6. Of course, a huge break on that 99. But here, once we get into the sinker and circle changeup, 65 control on the changeup, 55 control on the sinker. That's really going to make you think maybe you're going to stop wanting to throw those pitches so often, because the sinker is really nice for Nolan Ryan. If you throw that righty on righty, you can really bust them inside and do a lot of damage. So I love throwing that sinker. However, with only 55 control, I'm probably gonna not throw that pitch as often, just because unless you hit your spots, and even if you do, a lot of times it's not necessarily going to go exactly where you want to. And only 65 control on that circle changeup, and it really goes to show, Nolan Ryan, his obvious big problem is he only has 53 walk 9, and then it goes to show how low his control actually is on his circle changeup and sinker, because fastball and 12-6, there's really no problems, but those other two pitches for sure I definitely know I have had issues with. I think I'm just gonna go through all my pitches that I'm currently using. So let's go Clayton Kershaw right here, and yep, you can see he has a lot more control than Nolan Ryan. Of course, once again, really good control, really good command of the strike zone with that fastball. 92 and 95 with this slider, and 12-6. I do sometimes throw some balls with that 12-6 just because it has so much break. You really have to adjust for that, and that's another thing that's important to understand is just because they have really good control, if they have a lot of break, you kind of have to adjust and make recommendations for that, because it definitely can be a little bit worrisome. So maybe starting higher in the strike zone, but find a good medium, because you do not want to hang it down the middle. His changeup has 82 control, and then his sinker has 77. So it seems like a lot of these even upper echelon pitchers, a lot of times the fifth pitch, they only have like upper 70s in control, which is not bad. That's still better than Nolan Ryan, but you'd maybe like it to see a little bit better. I'm actually kind of interested to see this brand new Felix Hernandez, really what he's looking like, because I want to get this card, but he's going to be really expensive. Okay, sinker is his #1 pitch, and that's interesting because his changeup has better breaking control, but obviously it makes sense that changeup isn't his #1 pitch. But 86 break on that sinker, 93 control. Looks like Felix is pretty well rounded all the way. He has no control under 70, or under 80 rather, which is good. And his break on his four seam is not the highest, but you don't really need a high break on your four seam fastball. I don't really know, because you don't really see like four seams moving a lot in this game, so I don't really know how that works. But yeah, he has good command of the strike zone. His sliding curveball has a 92 control, which is really good, really good for a fourth pitch. 83 control on that slider as well. I really do enjoy Felix 93 control on that sinker, which is big, because in my opinion, sinker can be one of the most effective pitches in the game, but it can also be one very damaging pitch as well, because if you leave that sinker kind of in the strike zone, if you leave it more so down the middle of the plate, it seems to get hit a lot. It only really works once you put it on the corners, because righty, lefty, you're going to eat hitters alive with that pitch usually, unless they are absolutely guessing it, because that sinker, especially when it's moving like 96, 97 miles per hour, it is absolutely deadly. I love the sinker a lot. Felix looks good. I really want to get him. Like I said, he is probably going to go for quite a bit. Let's look at a couple more pitchers once again. Like I said, you guys can find each and every pitcher in the game that you guys are interested in seeing, even down to creative players, which is interesting because I know I had mine. Let's look at that quick. Let's look at the Velo Focus, because I did use this for quite some time, and actually it doesn't show. It doesn't show for creative players, which is kind of unfortunate, because I would have liked to see that, because obviously you cannot change that yourself. It is how it is. So it would have been nice to see that, but unfortunately you cannot. Let's look at Orel Hershiser quick, because I know a lot of people like enjoying him. He has 90 control on that sinker, 89 break. He has 94 break on that curveball. Pretty good. It looks like he doesn't have the most control and the most break, obviously, because he's not like a 99 signature like those other guys that we've been looking at, which is more realistic, obviously. But yeah, he still is good. 75 control on the changeup is not great, and that's a pitch, if they're looking for it, they can definitely hit it pretty well. 80 control on the curveball is that's a little bit alarming, that I've noticed. If you have high break and low control, which 80 isn't low necessarily, but it's not the best either, that's where you could possibly see problems, because it breaks a lot, and then you don't have that much control, so it's harder to control if it has high break, at least in my opinion. But Orel, obviously, he's a really good pitcher in this game. I'm interested in Cy Young. He's a guy who I've thought about picking up for quite some time, and he has really good control. Like, everything pretty much in the 90s. His changeup is at an 89, but that's pretty much the same thing. Yet Cy Young has amazing control, 99 walk 9 on top of that. I'm really interested in getting him a fastball, and always you might say, like, I'll say 96 for Cy Young. Usually they can top out 2 miles per hour or so above what they actually say, so I would imagine Cy Young throws at his hardest to 96, but usually 94 is an average that you're gonna see. But you know, he doesn't have the most break, I guess, on that like screwball, which is still 77, which isn't awful, but he has 94 control, so he's gonna really command the strike zone. So I'm definitely interested in Cy Young. Like I said, good walk 9, good control all the way around, and still throws like 95 on that 4-seam fastball, like a 14 mile per hour drop off on that changeup. That's another really important thing that if you guys don't know, you always want to be looking for a good mile per hour differential on that changeup to fastball, because you know they look pretty similar out of the hand, but then obviously it is a change of speed, so that's what you're gonna look for there. Yeah, Cy Young looks really decent. Let me know down below in the comment section if you guys have tried out the Cy Young yourselves. I think he goes for like 40K right now, so that's a card I would be interested in. The last one I want to check out is Kerry Wood, because I know he has control issues. Holy shit, 34 control on his changeup. Damn. I mean, he only has 34 walk 9, which is to be expected, but 34, that really goes to show you, and 64 break as well. You know, he has 84 control on his 4-seam, which is kind of low for your number 1 pitch. 74 control on his slide, on his slurve. That's not good. Only 34 walk 9, like I said. I think Nolan Ryan is 89 is actually worse. I do want to check out one more actually, because he has 24 walk 9, 44 control on his 2-seam, 49 control on his changeup, and below 80 on his 4-seam. So that really goes to show, honestly, if I use this card, I would be really reluctant to ever use this 2-seamer. The 2-seamer is a bad pitch in general. If you guys haven't noticed that, 2-seamers are not a good pitch at all this year, unless you're like it's like a less effective sinker, you know, like 2-seamers, if you leave it over the plate, it's getting bopped. 2-seamers are only good righty-righty, lefty-lefty, in my opinion, if you're throwing it like in on the hands or something. But that goes to show, you know, it's really interesting, like I said, to see their breaking control on each and every one of their pitches, and hopefully you guys can use this and use this information for good stuff. Like I said, every new pitcher that is going to be released, I have no idea how they get this information, because we can't see it. I don't know if they're like have a deal with SDS or something where they can get it, or if there's something inside the game data wise that they can capture and get this information out to us. But nonetheless, shout out Daddy Leagues. Like I said, link to this in the description down below. You can check out each and every one of your pitchers. It works for relievers as well, and you can also just check and compare the stats of your regular position players as well. So I know they have a compare tool in the game as well now, but if you guys want to do it on this website, you can go ahead and do that. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like down below if you guys learned something interesting. I know I for sure learned a lot of interesting stuff. I'm going to be checking this out a lot next time I go ahead and decide to pick up a pitcher. But like I said, leave a like down below if you guys did enjoy this video, and hope you guys are great today. There goes out.
Love is love, and hate is hate. To die's an awesome adventure, and I can hardly wait. Earth is a prison, I need a great escape. You know I'm in my zone when I'm up in outer space. You know I'm in my zone when I'm up in outer space. You know I'm in my zone when I'm up in outer space. You know I'm in my zone. You know I'm in my zone. I took a bite of the glory.